What's that? Nah. All right, guys. So here answering questions. We really have 2 more weeks of this, right? Not including this week. So next week is week 5. Following week, that's the final weigh-in. I'll do my same thing. Monday morning, I think I'll be at West 6 a.m. Tuesday at North at 6 a.m. And then I'll be at Wednesday at South 6 a.m. Not next week, the week after. So we can do weigh-ins roughly the same time, same circumstances. And today we're here answering your questions to the best of our ability. Not medical professionals, but we fake it well. I can't say that. I can't say that, right? Fake it till you make it. Keen, you asked a great question. How do you feel about how do you feel about meal replacement shakes for lunch, and what shakes do you recommend? I'll acquiesce to you first. What do you thought of meal replacements? Well,
that's your question.
That's a good question, and I've said this before. I'm not against them by any stretch. I'm always a proponent of real food over not real food. However, protein shakes, if you get a good one, a meal replacement shake, often convenient, what people look for. Oftentimes you can get them and they're pretty financially reasonable, especially cheaper than, say, eating out. And if you get a good one, the macronutrients are going to be great. There might be some extra micronutrients in there that you're normally missing. So it can be an okay way to, for like a lunch, if you're at work, you normally go out to eat. I would prefer something like that over, say, going out to get fast food. And if you're low in protein, I do find meal replacements, especially for females, tend to help increase their overall protein, which, whether you're plant-based, whether you eat normally, I find females tend to be more carbohydrate heavy in their diet. They tend to like that over things like meat, so it's a great way to supplement your protein intake as well. But it doesn't, overshadow chicken in a salad, right? But it's good as opposed to getting like a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yeah, I agree with that. More whole foods in it than because you can, everything you said.
Yeah. And I do want to, we talked kind of about making smoothies a lot too. I'm not against making a smoothie. I'm not against blending things into a protein shake. You just have to make sure you measure, because those things can become very calorically dense very quickly. So just make sure if you do add fruit to it, if you do add other things to it, peanut butter to it, you're counting those calories as well. Because 200 calories can become 600 calories, can become 800 calories really quick if you're not careful. But yeah, things I recommend, Fit Club, we carry the .fit product. I think we're the only ones in Springfield that do that. It's what I use myself. It's what I buy my wife. They're third-party tested, and they go through multiple third-party tests. So, not only what is in there is actually in there, but also stuff that you don't want in there is definitely not in there. So, I use this all the time, but they sent somebody into, I think it was GNC, hopefully we won't get in trouble for this, and they pulled 30 products from the shelves. 29 out of 30 came back with tainted substances in there. So things that's not necessarily legal. And it's not GNC's fault for carrying the product. It's the product's fault for not doing their due diligence, making sure they're cleaning stuff out properly. They went and tested a Walmart protein, and the Walmart protein said it had 20 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbohydrates. No third-party tests were done on this. I think it was Body Fortress's brand, and the inverse was actually true. So they went and tested. It was 20 grams of carbs, 4 grams of protein. So third-party tests, make sure it's made in a pharmaceutical-grade facility. Those are 2 things you want to take a look at, and .fit fits the bill. And generally pretty good tasting, too. So if you want a brand recommendation, that's my brand recommendation.
Well, you guys have a plant-based option.
Yep, they have plant-based. Tastes like crap, but it's because it's plant-based, and there's no joy in plant-based. So, the all-natural Way Smooth, which if you guys want this stuff, let me know. I don't carry it that often because it's not great selling. The all-natural Way Smooth tastes a little bit better. The best plant protein, not the best tasting. So
see, but I would like it.
Maybe. Well, tolerate it. I mean, I don't mind it. People get hung up on the taste of that stuff. I'm like, it's a protein shake. It's going to take me 30 seconds to, what's up, buddy? 30 seconds to drink. So yeah, I'm not, taste doesn't really affect me. But a lot of their other things, they're pre-posed, first string, Way Smooth, and Lean MR all taste pretty good. Buddy.
This is Chewy's store mascot.
He was in there last week.
At the Springfield Running Center where my office is. And this is Tracy Dowell's dog. He always likes to come and say hi to Logan. They look a lot alike, don't they? A lot of hair. Logan has more hair.
Yeah, right. So then, Jennifer, you asked about intermittent fasting. What are your thoughts? I know you intermittent fast.
Sure. I intermittent fast. I do the 12-hour. I do it every day. Some people don't intermittent fast every day, but I do. My last meal of the day is at 8 p.m. Then I go until about 8 a.m. If I work out in the morning, I'm always fasted.
Yeah.
Yep. So I also like it because there's some benefits to it. It's convenient, it's easy, it also helps with weight loss. And honestly, I feel like I became in better shape when I started intermittent fast. But what the benefits also is that fat loss in the visceral fat area. Mm-hmm. I felt like that I was able to lose a lot of it from intermittent fasting. But then also your glucose levels are low. So I feel like when my glucose levels are low, my energy is higher.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Even? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why.
More even?
Yeah. That's why I enjoy it a little bit more. I don't know. You could tack on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say what I say normally. I think the most scientifically researched and studied diet for health and wellness is small, frequent meals, and being in kind of a slight caloric deficit at all times, right? Mm-hmm. So eating just a little less than you need. However, it's not the only thing that works, and at the end of the day, you have to find what works for you.
Right.
So there are a ton of benefits.
Everybody is different.
Yeah, absolutely. And 12 hours is a super reasonable time. You're still getting breakfast. You're still probably getting 3 squares in. Mm-hmm. You know, I played around with a little bit of all of it, and at the end of the day, find what fits your schedule, find what works, but just understand intermittent fasting works for most people because you're in a caloric deficit. You're eating less throughout the day, so you're eating less total most of the time. Intermittent fasting actually isn't designed to be a caloric deficit diet. You're meant to eat the same amount of foods in just a shorter window. So why it works for a lot of people, though, is inevitably they end up eating just a little bit less, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just understand it's not necessarily a magic pill. You can do it right and you can do it wrong. So do your research. 12 hours is, I think, completely safe and reasonable. A lot of studies for muscle building, 16 hours fasting, working out fasted, maybe taking something like an amino acid during, and then having your biggest meal directly after the workout is actually great for muscle building. So if that's really what you're leaning towards, 16 and 8, 16 hours fast, 8 hours of eating. But I think varying it up works too. You can phase it in and out. You do it all the time. You can do it 1-2 days a week. See how you feel, see how your body responds, and then add from there.
Remember exactly what Logan said. Make sure that you're doing it right. So when you have that window of eating, eat healthfully. Don't just put junk food in your body.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. If it works for your schedule, great. Give it a try. Just make sure you are indeed eating, right? Christine Schooley, trying to find alternatives to pasta, chickpea pasta. I think Barb helped you out with this. Where do you find this? How does it taste compared to other pastas? Again, I think the taste of the pasta, I find sometimes it can cook a little mushy with chickpea pasta if you cook it too long, but I think the real flavor comes from the quality of the ingredients of your sauce and how you prepare your sauce. So as far as the taste goes, I think chickpea pasta is great. Brown rice pasta is great. Is there a quinoa pasta? I think there's a quinoa pasta too.
I think there's any kind of pasta, any kind of vegetable that's out there. There's going to be a certain kind. I think Christine said something about which one did she really not like? Oh, the black. Oh no, it was Barb. Or no, wait, no, it was Christine. She mentioned the black bean. I don't mind it, but I know Kurt was in the bathroom a lot with the black bean.
Fiber.
Yes, there is a lot of fiber in those veggie type pastas or whatever, but I think that they're all good. What I love to do with my pastas is that not so much of just use it for like some type of spaghetti. I love to make bowls with it.
Yeah, pasta
bowl. I have my pasta in there and then throw all my vegetables in there and some kind of sauce or even salad dressing, and it's yummy-licious.
Absolutely, and generally higher in protein, generally better ingredients. You don't have a lot of that processed stuff. Still watch your ingredients, make sure you see the actual what it's called is your main ingredient. So the black bean pasta, and you see enriched something, it's probably a little off. So you want black beans as your primary ingredients. And again, I think if you get a good sauce, a good healthy sauce. The taste is fine. Aldi's is a great place, and they're starting to do it right. I know they're starting to get in competition with Trader Joe's a little bit as far as their health food quality and Whole Foods. When we go to Trader Joe's, when we go to St. Louis, we go to Whole Foods, we go to Trader Joe's, and we tend to stock up on stuff like that too. I still think it's a little bit better than say Aldi's. I know Food Fantasies down the road has some too.
Shucks, or not Shucks, County Market.
Hy-Vee probably will as well, and I'd probably trust Hy-Vee over. Just look for good quality ingredients, and you can find it wherever you want. You might pay a little bit more for a little bit less, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's about quality. This is a good one for, I'll take this one. So,
sure.
10, 12 patient team. This is Barb. So, what do you recommend food-wise for quick snacks and meals that can fit into scrub pockets for these crazy days? Nuts and seeds. simple. It's easy, healthy fat. Just divvy it out. And I do find they tend to satisfy more than a lot of the other quick foods.
Yep. Or even if you have like a little Ziploc and you could put your veggie sticks in there.
Absolutely.
Like celery sticks, carrot sticks. Popcorn, air popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, I haven't done a lot of research on air pop.
Yeah, I have this on here. It's a great snacks option for people with type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
It's the amount of fiber.
Yeah,
amount of fiber makes you full, prevent you from or having cravings.
Okay.
So air popcorn. String cheese, because it's still in the wrapper. But
yeah.
That's always good.
Well, and those real white cheeses tend to be a little bit better overall anyway. So as long as you're not getting ultra processed cheese, you're okay. I like this dog. It's a cool dog.
You know, every time when you bring your head forward, it like zooms in. Look how big your head is. It's like a burrito as big as your head.
I actually found one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, the Morleone or whatever.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been satisfied by a burrito. I get like the extra meat option though, so I'm sorry.
Is it bigger than your head?
I'm full after, and that's not what you should be aiming for. But I found one. I was satisfied. It was delicious. Okay, so then Renee, what type of wraps do you suggest? The protein wraps at Aldi. Nicole Berg said it tastes like cardboard. Again, I kind of got over that. Good ingredients kind of offset that.
Yeah.
So what about you?
With me, I think it matters about the ingredients in it, and you just said that.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Yes. Make sure it has an adequate amount of fiber, salt, how much saturated and trans fats are in it, and amount of carbs. And the reason why I say that is because there are some wraps that are just as unhealthy than bread.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you see like a burrito, like a normal white burrito.
That's as big as Logan's head.
As big as my head, and it's probably not great for you. So when you look for fat sources, remember too, just a quick side note, good fats, bad fats, good fats, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats, bad fats, saturated fats tend to be on the bad side, so you really want to watch that. But polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, things you find nuts, seeds, guacamole, that stuff, that's good.
It's always the ingredients. You know, if it has a list of ingredients this big, then don't buy it. Not just wraps, but with any food. If it has, I don't know, how many ingredients would you say?
I mean,
2 to 4,
yeah,
maybe.
Absolutely. And you want to be able to pronounce everything. Everything's got to be under 3 syllables, right? You want 1 to 2 syllables. Barb, go back to Barb's question. There is a bar that I really like. Cliff Bar tends to, you have a lot of ingredients there.
Yeah.
RX bars, have you heard of those?
Yeah.
Like $2-3 a bar, and you don't get a lot out of it, but it's 2 to 3 ingredients, and they put the ingredients in big bold letters in the front. It's usually like 2 eggs, 2 dates, no BS. Those are great options too, and it's quick and relatively healthy. So again, less ingredients generally means it's a little bit healthy. Not always, but generally. Are there any more questions? Just Renee posting a bunch of stuff.
What wraps is she talking about?
Well, the cardboard Aldi wraps.
Oh, that's what she was meaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no offense taken. I don't make them. I'll eat them. And hey, when I was plant-based, those things were money and trying to get my protein up. There were 16 grams a wrap, which was real good. And so I'd have 7 or 8 of them, and that was not really like 2 maybe.
We did talk about this on Wednesday, and I want to go over it again today. I want to talk about carbs.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that will send me pictures of their macros at the end of the day, and then I'll see pictures of their macros and also pictures of their food, and that makes a big difference of when you could see their food compared to, because you could hit your macros throughout the day, but really, what are you eating? So going over what we talked about on Wednesdays, what are the good carbs and the bad carbs? The bad ones are the simplex / refined carbs, and then the good ones are the complex carbs. How you can define what is the difference in refined / simplex carbs, think of it like a match. You light up a match, it gives you a burst of energy, but then all of a sudden the energy is gone. Complex carbs, think about like throwing a log on a fire, how the log takes a long time to burn out. It's kind of like your energy. Your energy sustains, and it takes a while for it to go away. The refined simplex type carbs are like the sugary donuts, cereal,
candy,
processed,
soda,
fried food, all that. Those are the ones that are going to be like a match. It'll give you a burst of energy, then all of a sudden it's like gone quick. Yeah, you crash. Then the complex carbs are like fatty type foods like fish.
Fish
nuts.
don't have a lot of carbohydrates in them.
Yeah.
But it'd be like more like your whole grains.
Yes.
right? Your vegetables, those
Yes.
are your complex carbohydrates. And just think of it, it's your body's taking time to break it down. If your body has to take some time to break it down, it's a good thing. It's gonna be a slow, steady stream of energy versus, I like that analogy, it's like lighting a match and then the wind blows it out right away. So anyway, somebody's texting me. So steel cut oats. I know, popular. Steel cut oats. If you're gonna do oatmeal, your brown rice a little bit more in the way of complex. Your vegetables, even some of your starches are a little bit more complex. I completely agree with you, and I know actually some types of diet that focus more on the macros than anything else. And I know I can kind of be big on the macros, but here's the deal: I'm big on logging your food too. If you eat real food 95% of the time, I don't really see the need to even log your food. If you're eating vegetables, lean protein sources, if you're doing that most of the time, you shouldn't need to log your food because your body's going to make changes that you want to make.
And it is good to do it at first initially to try to figure out what is good for you, because I don't log my food anymore either. I know what I need to eat to feel good throughout the day.
Yeah. So yeah. There are times you can leverage simple carbohydrates for like muscle building, but nobody's there yet. And if anybody tells you otherwise, you need simple carbs directly after workout, I don't necessarily agree. For most people, if you are new to fitness, if your main primary goal is weight loss, fat loss, stick to complex carbohydrates, stick to calorie control, stick to moderate amount of protein, moderate amount of fat. If you do that, then you'll be good. So next week, second to last week, we have one more normal week to go. We'll do another one of these. We have another Learn and Burn next Wednesday too. And then make sure by next week you have the following week your weigh-in scheduled or plan on coming one of the days I'm there. If you have questions or comments, please share below. Thanks, guys.